Hello and welcome to TCF NFL Pick Show Week 4 Take 2. Didn't have audio on the first one. I'm going to keep it.
Literally
a funny thing. I mean, it's
recorded
13 minutes,
the whole show.
But, yeah, we're here Week 4. Not very smart. But, Boomy, how'd you do? First, if you want to follow me, it's right above me, at Zlalia, LALJA, TCF. We are presented by From the Sideline. It's at Sideline with a 1 as the first I, and then sports. And then we main page at @typical_Chicago. Facebook is Typical Chicago Fans weekday show between Tuesdays, Thursdays, 8 o'clock. We've been doing them on Thursdays a lot. It's still all over the place with me and Boomy's schedules. It's at 8 o'clock, Facebook Live, Typical Chicago Fans, and then From the Sideline on Facebook. They have all. I'm gonna do it a lot. They have all of our blogs, podcasts. This video will be up there, and then Instagram, Typical Chicago Fans, and From the Sideline.
Absolutely. Follow me on Twitter right up there at BoomyTCF. I get into a little bit of everything: sports, world news. I love it all. How's your picks going, man? You're starting to catch up to me.
Catching up.
Kind of gangbusters. I'm sitting at 10-2.
I'm 9-11-2 now. I had a great week, 5-1-1. My push was the over/under, which was 43 in the Packers-Broncos game, and then I had the loss, Pats -22. Tough loss.
Yeah, I actually betted that as well. So
how you been? How did you do last week?
Last week was
not a good week for Boomy.
Average. I only lost a little bit, 3-4. Lost on the Falcons, Seahawks, and Chiefs, as well as the over/under lock of the week. But I also hit on the Jags, Rams, and Bears.
Very surprising not
That's a terrible call.
Turned
That's a
over
horrible call
on that, but that's crazy. But let's get into that Thursday night game. I think you know who Boomy took.
You know it. Packers -4.5 were probably one of the top.
I had to take the Birds.
Top
I had to
5
take
teams
the
in the
Eagles +4. They are at this point up 1, and they just the Packers just punted on the first series of the second half.
We'll be all right.
+4 at Green Bay. I like that a lot. I know I can even before the game. I bet it. So if you want to check the timestamps, I don't really want to send out that kind of stuff because it's just. Gambling's so stupid.
Yeah, it is.
If you really think
really
about
is.
it, what the fuck? I mean, the ups and downs of gambling are just insane.
I've worried about you on suicide watch a couple times since football started.
Not even that. Just
that one week where you went 1-6 in college football. I was like, I don't want to talk to.
I
Zach
guess it's not a funny joke, but it in a way, it's sad. It gets to be tough and scary. And you're doing it for the site. I'm doing it From the Sideline, apparently, and Typical Chicago Fans, all my fans out there. But I have the Eagles. You have the Packers.
Yes, we'll be fine.
Sunday noon games.
Yeah, let's
Boomy,
get into
who's
this
your first
one. Give me the skins. Give me the R words.
R words. If you can tell, it's very tiny.
We don't approve of the R words, but they're going into New York. I think the Giants are a joke. Daniel Jones is not a good quarterback. If you put a gun to my head and say Case Keenum or Daniel Jones, I'm taking Case Keenum. Daniel Jones has proven nothing.
I'm actually going on the other side of that. I got Giants.
Who's
-3?
Who's the Giants running back?
Okay, you said that before.
Huh?
I get it. But I watched the R words last week. They're not very good. Don't like Case Keenum. Adrian Peterson looks pretty washed up there. It kind of looks sad.
Yeah,
I
don't love the
really
pick, but I don't see anything to be excited about for the Giants.
And then I have the Colts.
That's not a bad pick.
On here. The Colts -7 at home against the Raiders. I think this team is going to be very good. I've bet on them, I think, 3 times now. But that doesn't matter. Boomy, what's your crazy pick here?
Biggest lock of the year right here. Dolphins +16.5.
That's just crazy.
That I will make probably my largest wager of the year on, and I'll tell you why. The Los Angeles Chargers are flying from Los Angeles, California to Miami, Florida, from the West Coast time zone to the East Coast time zone. And I'm not exactly sure how time zones work. Yeah, well, that doesn't matter. They play at a 1 o'clock game, which would be, I believe, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it'd be a 9 a.m. start in Los Angeles.
But you know they've been getting ready.
And it doesn't matter. They are going to get up at the hotel and get on a bus at 6:30 in the morning. They wouldn't even be up at that time if they played a normal noon game.
Phil Rivers is probably up at like 5 or 4.
One of the 22 stars. Yeah, because he's got 19 kids crying.
So,
but no,
I don't think Phil Rivers.
I don't care about Phil Rivers. He's going to be throwing passes to guys who are still asleep and their hands aren't awake. Mortal lock of the century. Give me the Dolphins plus 16.5 at home.
That's gross. No one wants to stomach that.
That's an easy pick.
Sunday afternoon, the 3 o'clock games. I'm going to go with mine first. I have not the Colts. The Bears. -2 at home, Vikings. I like it because they went with a field goal. Eddie Pinheiro, he is looking better. He went out there, gutted it last week for the team. But -2 at home, Vikings. I think Kirk Cousins is going to force. Again, not force. He's going to have about 2 fumbles, maybe. Khalil Mack's going to scare him into one of them, probably. And I think this defense is going to score 2 touchdowns.
Surprise money line pick from me. I'm taking the Vikings money line. It's not, and the only reason
you're not a pick.
I know, but I'm taking the Vikings money line because it is not a primetime game. No one's going to be watching Kirk Cousins, so he's going to play well.
But the 3 o'clock game, they are a little more prime time because there's less game to watch. So
you're going to see Kirk Cousins ball out. I never thought I'd say those words.
That's the stupidest thing you may have ever said. I mean, you may just get kicked off of here. Yeah. You know that's stupid.
I'm also a glutton for punishment. Give me the Seahawks -5. They're going on the road to Arizona, and this is because they've come off an embarrassing loss at home to a backup quarterback in Teddy Bridgewater, who played well, don't get me wrong, but they got embarrassed at home. They're going to come out. Arizona looked a little tough maybe the first 2 weeks, but they have been getting it handed to them. I don't like Arizona at all. I could be very wrong here, but I like the Seahawks -5.
Yeah, like I said, Arizona, it's a pretty good.
I've lost twice in the Seahawks, and they can't lose 3 times in a row, I don't think.
But you know what? They can.
They can.
The sad part is they really can. Sunday night, we different ways here. I am going with the Cowboys.
Do you think the Cowboys are for real?
I don't really know if they're for real. I don't think Teddy Bridgewater is really that great of a quarterback per se. I think the Seahawks didn't have a great week last week. And I think Dak's going to keep it moving. Him and Zeke are going to keep it moving in New Orleans. -2.5. I got the Cowboys.
Oh, I had it at -3 when I sent it to you this morning, but it doesn't matter.
Either way.
I think Dallas has played nobody. So if they're finally going to have a chance to play someone who's good, who has a chance of playing a playoff game. And I think even without Drew Brees, I think that Teddy's going to get the job done. And it doesn't matter. They have to go into one of the toughest places in the NFL to play, in the Superdome. I'm just not convinced that the Dallas Cowboys are for real.
Huh? Well, I guess it's a good week to see if they are for real.
Yeah, it's definitely a prove-it week for the Cowboys and the Cowboys
or not.
fans.
The Monday night game.
Gross.
A stinky game.
Yep,
awful, gross. 0-3 teams. Neither team are really have any aspirations for the playoffs, I would say.
Yeah.
Especially with the Steelers, Big Ben going down. But I don't even know if I like the Bengals.
You're
+4.
forced to take
It's
the Bengals.
Gross. Andy Dalton, I think, keep it close.
God damn
And I
it.
don't think Mason Rudolph is going to another touchdown.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's eat. Like I said, I already said my pick, but Eagles looking good. But
Lots of football.
Either way, though, I don't think this is going to be a gross, low-scoring game.
Yeah,
so also probably take the under in that game.
Yeah,
too,
I took the Steelers -3 and 3.5 just for the simple fact that I don't.
And you're forced to make this pick.
Exactly. I just can't fathom a world where the Pittsburgh Steelers go 0-4. So I think they're going to win the game, and I think if they're going to win the game, they're going to win it by at least a touchdown. You're going to see Mason come out and do some nice things. Big game from James Conner coming up, I think, and Juju's got to have a nice one because I got him in my fantasy team. So since you put a gun to my head, give me the Steelers -3.5.
I think these next few Monday night games are going to be tough
Stinkers.
to pick. But our over-under bets of the week, I think I'm 2-1 now, and you are...
I am 2-1.
2-1, so look good. I have the Bears-Vikings over 38.
That's an easy bet,
just looks
man.
so tiny. It could end up being like a 10-3 game.
Right, because even if it's like 25-19, you're still going to hammer
that I like
over.
The over 38.
Yep, for sure. I like that pick a lot. I'm going to take the under in the Kansas City-Detroit game. Kansas City's got a really good offense, but at the same time, Detroit has one of the best defenses I've ever seen in Detroit, and that's not saying much. But you're going into Detroit. It's going to be a tough environment, so I like that under at 55. So give me that.
We're going to get into this real quick as it just happened. The Eagles score. They're up 7. Could go up 8 with the PAT, and they go for 2.
I don't understand.
And they don't
that.
get it. Still up 7, but I know you want that 2 to be up at least 2 scores.
Right.
But
I don't understand
force the Packers to have to make that 2-point conversion.
Right.
Instead
Exactly.
of trying to take those points, they did not get it. But who knows? That could be a big thing in the game. But I think my over just hit.
Yes, it did.
Let's go.
Yes, it did.
Let's go. Love it. Love it. Love
Nice
it. Love it. But this was TCF NFL Pick Show Week 4, Part 2. I am Zach Lilia. You can follow me on Twitter at ZLilia, LILJTCF. It's right above my head right here. Oh, sorry. Boomy over there at Boomy TCF above his head. The main page at @typical_Chicago. Sideline from the sideline. The Loops. It's a change of the Loop Sports at sideline with the 1 is the first I in sideline, and then sports, and then Facebook from the sideline, and Typical Chicago Fans weekday shows between Tuesdays, Thursdays, 8 o'clock. We've usually been doing them on Thursdays. I might keep up here for a little bit. But then Instagram, Typical Chicago Fans, and From the Sideline.
Make sure you check out all of our podcasts on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Subscribe, rate, and review, and follow on those sites. And head on over to the YouTube page like you're here right now. Head back to the homepage for all of our other videos. Got a bunch of stuff coming up here with our changeover to From the Sideline. Just keep posted with us. We'll be here.
Peace.
Peace.